Hello ladies and gentlemen, hhaviation here today with a review of the lovely Beirut airport for Microsoft Flight Simulator by Simsoft. So this scenery cost £8.70 British pounds, £10.14 euros and $11.99 American dollars. So taking a look at what this scenery promises, it promises us, high quality 3D objects, realistic ground layout, correct taxiway signs, IVO and flightsim compatible, realistic commercial stand names and locations, realistic ground markings, ground vehicles, objects and cars, realistic airport environment, night lighting and jetways, and is compatible with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. So before we hop into the sim, massive thank you to Simsoft for sending it over to me. It's much appreciated. Make sure you check out the scenery if it's something you feel you would get benefits out of and enjoy flying to and from. I'll make sure to put the link in the description. And now, thank you again, and let's get into the sim. Okay, so here we are in the sim, spawned in on the ground at gate 23. So, if we look around initially, as we can see the promised jetways already, and we can see the ground markings starting to show. We'll pull up a chart once we look at them in detail. Initially, looking around, the airport looks modelled relatively well, but also quite defaultly. You can start seeing the modelling that's gone to the front of the airport, and the fact that they've put as much effort as they can into the front of the airport so far. But let's have a look around. You can see some buildings over there where the airport vehicles would go, such as the fire station, I believe that is, if I was to presume from all those fire trucks. We can see the first runway over there in the distance, and if we keep on bringing ourselves around here, we can see another runway and another runway. I'm not sure if the runways are meant to be like this in the actual airport, where they're this clean and not like your classic grey dark tarmac, but we can see the skid and rubber burn marks from the touchdown zone, so they've gone into detail on that. As we come around here initially, we can see some hangars, so we'll be checking those out. And if we come over here, we can see some static aircraft parked up, some little propeller planes. This is a international and VFR airport, I believe. So let's get in and have a look a little bit closer at the terminal building. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so as you can see, if we start to look at the terminal building, you can see the detail that's gone into the outside. Unlike the other sceneries that we've reviewed before, not really much of a window tinting. If we go inside, yeah, there's not an interior in this airport, but considering the price, it's not to be expected, so that's okay. They did promise a realistic environment. As we keep on looking around the outside of this terminal, we've got the airport poles, which are highly 3D modelled, so that's also promised, so fair play to them. We've got the gate numbers as promised, and if we keep on taking our way around, we can start to see the ground vehicles and stuff like that, and another gate number 21. The terminal building is modelled pretty well. It's definitely an improvement from the default msfs version, and they have gone to detail on the shape rather than just throwing rectangle blocks in and calling it good enough and adding a little bit of texture to it. If we head over here towards the ATC tower and make our way to the middle, you can see the detail they've gone into with these semicircles and the curved arches that they've done on the roof, really taking into account the detail on the roof, and rather than just making it all a flat surface. And in here at the windows, they've gone to the extra length of actually putting the windows in, which I presume this is what it's like on the real airport. I've not been to this airport, so I wouldn't know. Down here though, it looks like we may have some parking spaces, or maybe some vehicle garages where they will come out of in real life. I do not know. Coming through here though, we've got a semicircle hub area, which I imagine at the real airport you'd be able to look out and see some planes, which would be very nice. We've got a little bit of an interior here if you want to look out. Not much though, but it's also very nice to maybe get a few little screenshots or something like that. Continue on our way around. We've got the detail inside here to the point where they've modelled inside here. Even though they don't really need to, because there's not much in there other than 2 windows. If we come around, we can see some more airport poles, airport lighting, creating a realistic environment, as well as some like boxes and stuff like that that would have been left around, and still got the gate numbers. Very clear, very easy to read, very helpful for using virtual traffic like flightsim and hhaviation. Coming around now, we're going to make our way around to the outside of the airport. We can see the detail that they've tried to go on to, and you can get a rough idea of what the airport would actually look like, giving us some buses, some static cars, as if they were to make their way up the ramp for dropping people off on their lovely holidays. Coming down, you can see the support poles. They look quite nicely modelled, with some nice pillars and stuff like that, and some airport lighting with a few cars in the car park. Not sure whether that is msfs default or them, so either way, very nice. Coming up to the ATC tower now, we've got a nicely modelled ATC tower. Rather than just throwing a square default ATC tower in, they've modelled it nicely with circular and glass. I'm not sure if it's fully glass, and a nice little top for you to possibly come in, yes, and get some nice photos here as well. Overall, the terminal looks pretty decent, not the best, but it looks very up to standard for the price of the airport. They're not charging like other airports we've reviewed, £15, 16 British pounds or above that. They're charging £8 $12 for a improved airport, and the work they've done is definitely so far looking relatively worth the money. But let's double check everything else out before I give my full opinion. Moving on to the ground textures. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so looking at the ground textures, we can see that they are marked at the back of where the gate is with the gate numbers. So if you're taxiing in from here, for example, you'll be able to see them on the ground. Following ground, if we look at another one, we can see as well they match up with the number at the stand 21 and then G21, which, looking at the chart which will be on screen, it's definitely matching up with the charts, meaning it is realistic for IVAO and flightsim users, as well as general realism if you don't fly on ATC networks, which is a nice touch. The ground textures, you can see they've gone into detail with the little like curves and stuff like that, making sure to get every bit. They're very clear, very easy to read, and very easy to follow, meaning this airport will be very easy to navigate. As you can see, if we follow around, you can see Sierra 2, Sierra 1, and so forth and so forth. And following around, you can see how easy it is to navigate. Now, as you follow around, we will go have a look at the runway holding points. You can start to see a few holding points put on the ground. Runway holding point and a taxiway sign, modelled very nicely, very clearly, not very pixely, which is nice and very good for the eyes. Let's move on to another one to have a look if this is consistent along the airport. Travelling along the grass, we've got a nice little wind socket. Let's get over here. So far, guys, the airport's looking very good for the price, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. Right, so having a look at another one, we can see again, not pixely, very clear to read, runway holding points all sorted, and the lights on the runway are all clear and flashy, as we love to see, as well as the PAPI lights. So let's head on to externally around the airport before we jump into some more like landing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so although this is not fully out the airport, it's not really the terminal building, so we've got a few hangars here on the edge of the airport ground. which would be there in real life, as some photos show. We've got some nice modelling of the hangar doors, following it around, some nice weathering effects and stuff like that. If we go around here, you can see that they've put pretty much every hangar in, modelled the doors opening and closing. And if we go over here, you can see some more hangars, giving you that realistic airport environment if there was to do maintenance on a aircraft. And if we follow it around here across, because there's some more hangars over here, we will see some more detail put into hangars. And look at that, they've got some solar panels that they've modelled. That's very nice. It might not be solar panels actually, I might have just made myself look like a numpty and just said that because it looked like it might be a shelter. Okay, so following the hangars around here, we've got a logo, the MEA with a tree. Not sure what company that is, but they've gone into detail with that and modelled it, as well as the doors to the hangar or the building have been modelled. A little bit of an interior as well, which is always very nice. We can get a little bit of a feel. They've got some trees in here, so maybe not an intended interior, but if it is or if it isn't, is a nice added bonus. Coming outside now, we've got another MEA hangar with, I believe, is this some de-icing? It might be some de-icing or some air pressure. I'm not too sure on that one, so don't quote me. And if we go inside, another modelled interior. This one looks definitely a lot more intended modelled. Again, if it is, if it isn't, it's a nice added bonus. So let's get back over to our aircraft and let's have a look at this airport at night and with different weathers, and let's see if it still lives up to the standard that it's currently giving off now. Okay, so starting off with clear skies and daytime, we can see that the airport still gives off the same standard. You can still see everything very clearly. This is what we've done our reviewing for pretty much the start of this video, so not really much to say other than it definitely still lives up to the standard and not much has changed. Let's move on to rain. Okay, so moving on to rain here, ladies and gentlemen, we can see that the airport still looks quite good, and we can start to see the lights on the taxiways and everything like that become popping up, so that the lighting is very acceptable and easy to get around. The runways are clearly lit, the taxiways are lit, not so much, but they're definitely lit. You'd be able to tell where you're going around, and as you can see as well, the taxiway signs are lit as well. So the airport definitely still looks to the standard that we've seen so far. Not as, I suppose, detailed as most of you would like, but it's good. It gets you around, and it's definitely still, again, an improvement from the default version. Yeah, so let's move on to few clouds, see if the lighting is still how we should have. Okay, moving our way to few clouds in the sky. As you can see, there's not many. The airport has gone back to looking how it was. Lighting is all turned off now due to visibility is pretty clear, so it'd be easy to follow around. Runway lights are still shining as always and still looking very beautiful, but the airport looks to the standard it has been, looks the same as the daytime. Not much has changed on this half. Let's move on to next weather. Okay, so moving on to snow, you can see the whole terminal building is pretty much covered in white. The whole airport, for that matter of fact, other than the taxiways, are covered in white, including the runway, which can be a bit confusing. Unlike Sarasota, where we saw the runways gritted, this one is not so much. They pretty much, the whole of the airport surface is just plain white, other than some taxiways and a little bit of patchiness at the gate, which could be very confusing when flying here. But as a country that's, I believe, in Asia, I don't believe you'd be getting much snow here, but if you ever did, I imagine it would not look like this. So I can't say much on the snow other than it would definitely be a bit confusing. Taxiing would be difficult but maybe possible, but landing would be definitely difficult to see the runway. other than the lights, and it would definitely be very confusing. Let's move on to nighttime and have a look. Okay, as we move on to nighttime clear skies, the surrounding area looks absolutely amazing and a lovely place to fly. Like, look at all this lighting. But taking our selves back to the airport, which is what I'm trying to say, we can start to see the airport lights and the runway lights really come to life here and make it very easy and give you a very warm, welcoming airport environment. As you can see, the runway lights over there, over here, and the taxi lights all lit up, very clear, very easy to understand. The airport lights and signs all showing, and we can see the lights on all the vehicles and the 3D modelled lamppost showing. As for the terminal lights look very bright, maybe a little bit too bright, but also not. It's a bit of a confusing one. However, as for the ATC tower, my attention has been brought to that. I would be a little bit confused if the ATC tower was complete like this. It looks a bit like a torch, I think, but I'm not sure if the ATC tower is actually meant to be like this. So if it is, Simsoft, please email me and just completely roast me, or anyone. But yeah, I'm not sure if the ATC tower is meant to be like this. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so you join me on a daytime approach into runway 17. As you can see, gear is down, flaps are full, we're making our way in. Let's get the brightness on these PFDs turned up a little bit so we can see what we're doing. Runway's right here ahead of us, we're going over some nice buildings. So you guys know the drill if you watched these reviews before: daytime approach, then nighttime approach. Then we will be doing a passenger review of both. So let's get going. Got medium auto brake for this landing, so that's all good. We're going to let the plane come in now itself. Right. Cool. So, let me know what you guys think of this review so far. I have got another video coming up with another product, which I think you guys will look forward to. I'm not going to say much more than that. But yeah, I think that it's going alright. And I want to say a massive thank you to Simsoft for sending me over this product. So massive thank you to you, Simsoft, and I'm very grateful. So, right, as you can see, we're coming over some nice buildings in our hhaviation livery. Love it. We're currently at I think maybe 125 for speed. But we're not that far out. We're not that far out at all. Got some lovely buildings. Imagine you could get a nice little water approach landing over there. That could be quite interesting. Right. We're doing pretty well so far. Look at our plane come in. Got some lovely little stadiums down below us. Lovely. This little harbour down there. Nice. Okay, so let's arm the spoilers. Cool. Let's make our way in and in. Got a nice little park down to the bottom left. It's quite a nice approach. A little football stadium there, I believe. Well, at least it looks like that. Right, okay, let's focus up on this approach. Let's bring our aircraft back over to the centre line. Get that all going. Amazing stuff. Okay, so yeah, you can see that runway to the right of us where you can actually get a nice little water landing. That could be quite a nice approach. But I thought I'd do this approach because then you get to see the stuff out the left window when we do passenger view. Okay, Right, let's bring it down. Currently got all whites, which means we're quite high, but I think we're actually doing perfect for this approach, if I do say so myself. 500 feet above, yeah, I'd say this approach is going better. There you go, there's the red, excuse the speech. Here we go, yeah, there's 2 whites, 2 reds, we're doing perfect. Runway is in sight, 2 whites, 2 reds, look at us go. Touchdown zone's coming up, straight over the building. And touchdown. Rudder that up, reverse thrust out, and let's bring the baby to a stop. Look at the stuff out the left window. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Right. Okay, now onto the nighttime approach. Okay, now you join me. Nighttime approach, as you can see, pitch black, tail lights on, landing lights are on. Apparently, we're gonna do the medium auto brake again, and yeah, let's bring it in. So at night time, we can mainly see the runways, which happens at most airports. You don't really see the scenery unless it's maybe the freeway at Gatwick, or I suppose a major airport like Heathrow maybe. I'm trying to think of ones that I've flown to. Hangars, there's a scenery for that pretty much lights up the airport. What else? Barcelona, that's definitely one, and maybe Ibiza. So pretty standard approach at night, which ain't a problem. It's not a problem for any scenery. It's pretty default. It happens quite a lot unless it's like a major airport like Barcelona, which is like literally lit up. Sometimes Heathrow and sometimes Gatwick, I believe. But the city looks amazing. It looks like a really nice approach into the city, if I do say so myself. Let's just double check I have all the lights on. Yeah, I do. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to be descending now onto the runway. We may need to go a little bit like heavier of a descent, because we do seem to be a little bit high, you know. So I just want to get a little bit lower. Might have to do a bit of a steep descent here, but we do seem a little bit high. But yeah, let's bring it in. Yeah, we're definitely a little bit high. Right, okay, that's fine. We'll bring it in. We'll slow down to 125, which is the landing speed we had before. There we go. And we will arm our spoilers. Let's get some lighting here in the cockpit. There we go, that will do. Do that and do that. Get this all ready. Okay, now we can like start adjusting so that we're level with the runway center line and everything like that. We're looking a lot more center now. Look at the approach. Like that just looks amazing. Sunset, I imagine, could be a lovely approach in. Like this building starting to light up, you know. Okay. Get the feel for the aircraft as we come in. Auto brake is medium. The approach is looking very good. There you go, there's the pappies starting to come in. Perfect stuff. 2 whites, 2 reds. Keep the aircraft on the center line. Here we go. The ATC tower don't look as bad actually. Might just be when you're at the gate. We need to pull it up a little bit. Look how close you cut it with this building. Right, look at this. Like you cut that quite close. Oh crap, I should have probably focused on the landing, innit? 50, 40, 30. Idle the thrust. Flare, flare, flare. And look at that. Lovely stuff. Reverse stop. Cool, cool, cool. Delete the auto brake, and yeah, let's look out the window. Lovely little approach actually in at night, actually. Very nice. Let's bring the aircraft to a stop and vacate. There we go. Hello guys, unfortunately there'll be no passenger view for this approach. Reason being is my flight recorder keeps crashing, so massive apology to Simsoft for that. I do apologise. If there's anything I can do to make it up to you, then let me know please, but I do apologise. But let's get on with the rest of the video. Okay ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the video where I give you my opinion. Again, massive sorry to Simsoft for the passenger reviews not working. I'm not too pleased about that, so I'll definitely get that sorted for the next review of whatever I do. I'm very sorry. So yeah, to wrap this up, the airport cost £8.70 sterling, British pounds, 10 pound 14 euros, sorry, not pound, and $12. So this airport, for the price of the add-on, is pretty good, to be fair. The approach is very nice, the 1-7 approach over the city, and I imagine the water one would be quite nice as well, with the city into the left. Yeah, the airport is pretty okay for the price. It's not the best compared to the airports that we've seen, but there is some things that definitely need to be worked on. But Simsoft are a new company, I believe, is what I was being told by one of their workers there, and they are planning to work better on 3D modeling. So this is pretty good. It's a pretty big improvement for what I've seen on their website. The link to this will be in the description. If you do like the scenery, and then make sure to get it. And again, the link will be in the description. Massive thank you to Simsoft for sending this over to me. I will see you all on the next one, guys. This has been hhaviation. Stay safe.